Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We made it, guys. Ah! Hugs, hugs, hugs. Welcome. Sorry, my laptop's been lagging, so I'm like trying to keep track. We made it. It's been a very long week in the laboratory. And it's great to be here right now instead of there because as you guys know, I've been trying to do at least one live per day because there are over 300 documents that dropped all at the same time, over 1,000 pages, and I'm just a regular person with a regular job, a regular family, regular bills, and I'm trying my best to go through every single document so that you guys don't have to. And every time we go through these documents, there's always something very eye-opening. And today I'm going to be reviewing supplemental narrative number 157. And there are some weird purchases by Kohberger pre and post crime, right? And we know that the detective involved in this case and that the state and that Bill Thompson told us that this case was a done deal, that this case was clear cut, that they had their guy because of some of the things that he had purchased. It pointed to Mr. Kohberger being the guy, pre-planning this. There were rumors in the early days of a kill kit. There were rumors of him purchasing ski masks and black clothing and weapons and rope. So why did they mention that? Because I'm pulling up this document and you let me know how you feel about the purchases, right? So I'll go through this document and then I'll catch up in the chat. This supplemental narrative 157 was typed up by Officer Vargas, and this is what it says, guys. This is what was purchased, and this document is tracking purchases that were made before the crime back in October through November and through December. So it's very telling. It's very telling. Receipts collected by Detective Schweck from ISP. Detective Schweck provided me, Officer Vargas, with a folder that contained the following receipts he collected during this investigation from some local businesses. The details are listed below. So we had heard that he did a lot of shopping in the Pullman, Washington area at the Walmart there, and they tracked all of his purchases using Mr. Kohberger's debit card ending in 1973. So there were purchases made in, let's see, 10/28/2022 at 3:54 p.m. This is the one that stands out the most to me. And then all of the other purchases were pretty much made around 8 or 9 p.m. So we have some sort of pattern there, right? Now there's another purchase that was made 11:07/22 at 22:37. 11:10/22 at 21:19, 11:12 at 22:34, 11:16 after the crime, days after the crime at 2300, 11:23/2022 at 22:25, 11:29/2022 at 18:58, 12/1/2022 at 21:35, 12/2/2022 at 18:34, 12/5/2022 at 22:35, and 12/6/2022 at 22:07, 12/8/2022 at 20:10 hours. So let's get to the creepy purchases that we were told about. Because It's funny how the media ran with, he had bought this kill kit, he had created a kill kit, he had all these things, and per Officer Vargas and per document 157, a majority of the items purchased were food items. Oh my God, that is so creepy. That is so weird. Why would he buy food items pre and post crime? You know, maybe because he's human? On 11/7/2022, Kohberger purchased, you guys are not going to believe this. Oh my God, it's so crazy. He purchased a beanie hat. Who in the right mind actually purchases a beanie hat from Walmart in the winter in Idaho? He has got to be some sick, twisted individual to be buying a beanie hat. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I spoke with an employee from Walmart, and he stated at the time he met with Detective Schweck, they were unable to locate the details of the exact beanie which Kohberger purchased. And we heard it was a ski mask, according to what Dylan told the cops, that she had supposedly seen somebody who had their forehead and nose exposed, right? But this part was covered. So was it even a beanie? Why are they worried about a beanie that somebody would purchase in Idaho in winter? How is that? Oh my God, it's so creepy. It's winter. And they were not even able to locate the details of the exact beanie which Mr. Kohberger purchased. So how are you going to run to the news and say, oh my God, it was a ski mask? He totally planned this. He totally planned this. This beanie was purchased on 11/7 because he bought a beanie before 11/13/2022. It means that he is the unaliver. You know how many people I would have been charged for unaliving? You know how many beanies I have? I have a beanie problem. I need to stop buying beanies. Anyway, on 12/1/2022, Kohberger purchased utility clothes. Utility clothes? Oh my God, that is dangerous. He must be a dangerous individual. If somebody buys utility clothes, that means that he was planning this. Why would anybody buy utility clothes on 12/1/2022 unless they're trying to like destroy evidence, right? I spoke with an employee from Walmart who told me this item was a 9-pack hand towels, which were 2 shades of gray. So the utility clothes that they told us that he had purchased, he bought these utility clothes after the crime. And what did people jump to? Because we are all, you know, we all have wild imaginations, especially the guilters. The guilters were like, it's because he had to go in there and really clean his car and really clean his apartment. So it makes sense that he would buy utility clothes. And now after these documents are released, we're seeing that these utility clothes were actually hand towels. Oh my God, but still, hand towels are super sus. And especially if they are 2 shades of gray. Right? You see how the media, you see how Bill Thompson, you see how the state took anything that they could get to try to make Mr. Kohberger look like the unaliver, the assailant of the horrific crime. Then it says, there was nothing else of interest listed on the above receipts. So you literally have 13 receipts. You have 13 receipts from October, November, December, and all that you're saying that was so creepy that Kohberger is probably the guy is because he bought mostly food items, a fucking beanie, and hand towels that were gray. Not regular gray, 2 shades of gray. See? Now, let's talk about the Target receipts. There are so many Target receipts. And Target, there's receipts from November 10th, November 9th, November 8th, November 6th, November 4th, October 24th, October 20th, October 19th, October 18th, October 13th, October 10th, October 6th, September 30th, September 26th, September 10th, and even August. They have August receipts, August 31st, 2022. And most of the shopping was also done around the same time that the Walmart shopping was done at, right? Around 2100, which I'm assuming is after work or after class. Very typical. Let's see what he bought. Because he's obviously an incel creep that shops at Target and Walmart. Like, if he's buying gray towels, what the hell else was he buying, right? One receipt from Target was provided from a transaction which belonged to BF. Kohberger was at Target on the same day as F, but completed his transaction at 1742. So it's like, really, this is the only connection that you found? We know that, according to Bill Thompson, there was no connection between Brian Kohberger and any of the victims, but we never heard that there was no connection from Brian Kohberger to Bethany Funk or to Dylan. And it's looking like this is the only connection that they could make. Oh my God, we have it. We solved the case, said Moscow PD. We solved the case because how is it possible that on November 10th, Bethany Funk was at Target at 4 p.m. Bethany Funk finished shopping at Target at 4 p.m. and Target was there on the same day. That means he was up to no good because he finished shopping at 5:42, almost 2 hours after Bethany. That is the connection. Really? We're supposed to run with that? That's the only fucking connection that you could find here? It is unknown if Funk and Kohberger were in Target at the same time. There was nothing of interest purchased by Kohberger. This is their person of interest, the most boring shopper in the world. He's out there buying one beanie, a shit ton of food, and towels. He sounds like me. Like, most of my money goes to food. Yeah, I like to eat. Let's see, because Harbor Fright, I'm going to say Harbor Fright, because, oh my gosh, it's so frightening. It's not Harbor Freight, it's Harbor Fright. Harbor Fright. He went there. Why is it somebody going to Harbor Freight? If they didn't unalive anyone. Do you guys know anyone that goes there? Are they all serial unalivers because they shop there? They must be, right? They must be. And he went there after the Idaho 4. Let's see what this effing creep bought there. 11/20. Oh my God. He was at Harbor Freight on November 20, a week after the crime. That is super sus. Oh my God. He was there on 11/23. That is super sus. What did he buy? This is a red flag. He bought a 1,000-watt continuous inverter. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. I think that we were wrong about Brian. I think he did it, you know. Like, why is an incel at Harbor Freight buying a 1,000-watt inverter? Why? Why is he doing that? If he didn't do this crime, everything is making him look like super sus, you know? Now, if you don't know what a 1,000-watt power inverter is, it's basically a continuous power output, right? It's just so that you have a power supply. Let's see what Google says. What are 1,000-watt inverters used for? Oh, look, they are used for a variety of applications, including a portable power system ideal for RVs and emergency backup power, camping. And we know he liked to go out, right? And do his runs and whatever. Maybe he wanted to charge his phone. They can also be used as solar power systems because they convert solar energy into usable AC power for household use. And also, can be used to power refrigerators, microwaves, LED TVs, or power tools. Okay, so like regular stuff, boring stuff. Nothing to see here, right? How does one go from saying you bought a 1,000-watt power inverter, you know, like they're not thinking about, oh, for camping, oh, for RVs, oh, for having a source of power. Their brain is like biased, and they immediately go to like, he must have used it to unalive somebody. He must have. Right? And what else did he buy? An inverter cable. Probably to go with his 1,000-watt continuous inverter, I would assume, you know, common sense. Now let's see what Maddie Mogan bought. Maddie looks like she shopped at Taj Grocery, TAJ Grocery in Moscow, Idaho. Receipt for a purchase made by Maddie Mogan at Taj Grocery on 11/12/2022 at 11 a.m. It has the time, but it doesn't have what she purchased, which I think is weird. Just show us what she purchased. You're telling us everything else that Brian Kohberger purchased, but you can't tell us what Maddie Mogan purchased? Find that a little bit strange, a little bit weird. 11/12/2022. Maddie Mogan's unnamed expenses. And we also have some storage unit information from Colfax, Washington. Detective Schweck collected unit renter information and contact information for 2 separate storage units in Colfax, Washington, for Star Supply Mini Storage and Clay Street storage units. The name Brian Kohberger was not listed as a renter at either storage facility. All of the documents provided to me from Detective Schweck are booked into MPD evidence. So they were trying to see if Mr. Kohberger was maybe having a separate storage unit and storing evidence and storing bodies or DNA or any weird tools. Because why? Because when they pulled up all of his expenses, all of his purchases, it's boring as fuck. It's boring as fuck. They said, yeah, nothing important to see here. He literally bought food, a beanie, towels, and more food at Target. Nothing to see here. So then, of course, they have to look even further and they have to say, well, is it possible that he's storing all the weird, creepy shit that we haven't found, that we are speculating about? Could it be in a storage unit? Well, he didn't have any storage units in Moscow, right? He didn't have any storage units in Washington. So nothing to see here. And I wanted to talk about this because guilters to this day still believe so much bullshit. There are so many fake news articles out there talking about Mr. Kohberger had 2 IDs of the victims. He had Kaylee and he had Maddie's ID. I'm sorry, man, but you're literally like 2.5 years behind. You're 2.5 years behind. We've known that this is BS. Now, after all the documents being released, we definitely know, okay? He didn't have anything, 0 ties to any of the victims. And the fact that guilters are still running their big mouths out there and spreading misinformation. Like, I just had somebody comment and say, well, Mr. Kohberger, you know, he pled guilty, meaning he unalived the victims. And let's not forget about all the DNA, all the information that they found in the storage unit. What are you talking about, ma'am? What are you talking about? You know? Pull up the documents, read the documents. Who's in the chat, by the way? But it just goes to show how people can run with some total BS and then leave it in random YouTube channels in the comments, or leaving like one idiotic fake news comment, and then like 50 people will go and like that comment. It's like, that's false. That's false. Who's in here today? Hello, Nadine. Hello, Linda. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Steven. Hello, Sherry and Barney. Hello, Don. Hello, Small Fries. I hope you're able to eat. I hope your stomach issues resolve. Hello, Jackie. Thank you. Green is my color. Thank you. Nadine, did you see the photos of the crime scene? I have not. Are they messy? Are they messy? Hello, my pal Sal. Thank you. Please hit the like button. Rise. Oh no, a beanie hat. Hello, Kimberly. You're so cute when you're being sarcastic. It's like my default mode. Oh my, he bought a hat because the weather's flipping cold and most people cover up, specifically if they like to hike, right? Welcome, Hot Pie Gravy. Made the live. It's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. But what's getting even more ridiculous is that now we have all these documents out in the open. Anyone can pull them up. People are asking me, how do YouTubers get this information? You Google it. I've told you guys at least 5 times. You Google Kohberger investigative documents and then you open the link. These are legal documents that are available to everybody. And the fact that these are available to everybody and people are still just choosing to not look at this, look at all the things that we have been lied about from day one by Moscow PD, by Chief Lanier, by Chief Fry, by Detective Payne, by Officer Mowry. It's insane. Larissa, welcome. Hello, Amanda. Larissa says, well, if it was 50 Shades of Grey, that'd be proof he was the one that bound and gagged them. Probably. That's probably what they would say, right? Hello, Michael Green Chili Chicken. Welcome. Hello, Brandy. Yeah. Yes, Brandy, I've mentioned this in the past, right? In the early days, that was one of my theories. You know, these kids are doing rugs. This was allegedly, these are my theories, opinions, for entertainment purposes only, but this was a known rug house. This was a known party house. Everyone knew that everybody in that home, mostly everybody in that home, was a user. So it had happened before, okay? People had OD'd in the past. So did they make it look like a crime scene? Did they make it look like some unaliver went in there and took people out to cover up the OD? Is that why Maybet, the coroner, told us from the early days, well, you know, the autopsy reports don't matter. It doesn't matter if they were using rugs or not using rugs. Bitch, it matters. Of course it matters. Everything matters, especially the autopsy report, right? Especially the autopsy report. Case closed, hot pie gravy. Did you say KTV released? No, I haven't. I'll have to go check them out and then come back to y'all. And that just means you can't afford Home Depot. Home Depot is expensive. Hello, Offside Guitar Tag. Camping. I just get the feeling that Mr. Kohberger is, well, we know he's an outdoorsy guy. He's trying to stay fit. He goes out in his runs, and it looks like he really likes nature. He likes those parks. You know, he likes to go stargaze, moongaze. I would assume, based off of that alone, that he probably likes nature. So why wouldn't you want a power source like the 1,000-watt power inverter, right? Why wouldn't you want that? If you're out in the woods for a long time, you probably would want that. Charge your phone, you know, basic things. Hello, Army for Jesus Justice. Hi, everyone. Just found this channel a couple days ago. Welcome to the live. Glad you made it live. But definitely go binge watch all of my videos, because I think I'm the only one, maybe I'm wrong, I think I'm the only one that has actually talked about the IDAHO4. Like 99% of my videos are IDAHO4. And at some point, we will have to talk about some other topic. But you guys know I'm neurospicy, I'm neurodivergent, and I hyper focus, and until I solve this puzzle, we'll see when I decide to talk about another topic, right? Basically, when my hyper focus fades. Hello, Rise. I've always thought it happened in 2 separate incidents on Linda Lane. A lot of people have also suggested that, right? Thank you for sharing that. Hot pie gravy, RVs, camping, unaliving, right? Carrie says the more they release, the more they tell on themselves. At this point, DOJ should be involved. I could not agree more. Sid says they probably want us to think that he was going to go on the run off the grid, right? But he already would have went off if that was the case, because he bought that back in December, early December. So if he really wanted to go off grid, you're gonna go off grid with a power inverter, a beanie, and hand towels? No, he's basic. He's basic. So, yeah. The kill kit. Thank you guys so much for joining me in today's live. Let me know. I'm sorry I was not able to catch up with everyone. I'm sorry if I missed anyone in the chat. Make sure to vote, please. If you think that these are weird purchases that were made by Mr. Kohberger pre and post crime, please leave a 1. If you think he's just a basic ass shopper, regular ass dude, please leave a 2, right? Make sure to vote in the chat, and make sure to vote in the comment section as well, because this promotes the algorithm. Guys, I never ask for super chats, never ask for cash apps. I do appreciate them from the bottom of my heart, but I do ask you do one thing, and that is to always hit the like, always leave a comment in the comment section, always leave a comment in the chat, and definitely, most definitely, make sure that you are subscribed, because quite a few of you have reached out to me and said that you are getting unsubscribed constantly. That's fucking weird. A lot of you have told me that you're not getting my notifications when I go live, and it just makes me think that we are being suppressed, and if so, it's probably for a reason, and we definitely want the truth to get out. So yeah, hit the like, right? Again, I'm a regular ass bitch, like regular ass girl, you know, with regular ass life and a job. So every time you hit like, it does promote the algorithm. When you comment, it promotes the algorithm. I don't ask for anything else, but I do ask you guys do that. These are quite time consuming to make, as you guys know, especially when you have a regular life, right? So I appreciate that. That also motivates me to make more videos. That being said, enough yapping, guys. Happy Friday. Stay tuned, by the way, because I'm going to be covering other documents. I'm just going to do it in a separate live because I want to keep them separate so you guys can find it easily, right? So thank you guys for joining me in today's live. Happy Friday, and see you guys soon. Stay tuned, because in a couple minutes, I'm gonna go do a separate live on another very freaking weird document. The next one is even weirder, so see you guys soon. Bye-bye.